What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another installment of Anime Mondays. Today we'll be taking a look at episode 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen. But before
Girl of
we,
Steel.
yes indeed, but before we begin, let's not forget, comment down below on what you think, and don't forget to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button. But without further ado, let's get geeky with this episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. So, with this was a pretty interesting and kind of sort of straightforward episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. So overall, I think it was. So we finally got to meet our little last part of the little merry band of folks here.
Nobara Kugisaki. And she doesn't initially seem to like Megumi or Yuji quite yet. She's almost repulsed by them. And she seems to think very poorly of them. And she's far more, yeah, I guess we have a lot of, you know, women members of different team structures, and typically they have a lot of anger, or they may have negative feelings that they keep within themselves, but she's very direct with how she feels.
Yep. If she's feeling a certain type of way, she will let you know about it. And and one thing that I noticed is that she seems pretty confident of herself and her skills.
Yes. Well, let's talk about her nails and her hammer. That, I guess, is her special weapon, her cursed tools.
Yep, so that is her curse tools, which we get to see her actually use in action pretty much right away as they get sent on a tricky type of assignment, as they thought they were going to be just taking a tour of the city. Not really, just a tour of clean this clean out this old haunted house type of thing.
Yep.
So, so we get to see that they kind of sort of, for good or for bad, split up the party, which for any of you D&D players is never a good thing to do.
Or is it the best thing to do?
Or
You
that.
can pick out. I mean, it's good for the DM to kill off everybody. But,
But
it's interesting though, because it's they have diversified the type of abilities and the type of weapons that everyone is using. We see usually he gets kind of a knife, a curse knife, which will probably be one of his primary weapons for now. Um, he was told not to let out his the curse inside of him. And of course, we already know he's already overpowered enough to hit holes through walls, and that I don't know. He dispatched the first demon, or excuse me, the first curse fairly easily.
yep, and that was interesting to see. Normally, right away, you see a little bit more of a drawn out battle.
Now it whenever he fights, it seems to be pretty straightforward.
Yep, and the thing that I find most interesting, like you mentioned before, he barehanded, he pretty much punched a hole straight through a concrete, nonetheless, wall. I'm like, dude, really? And you're not amped up by the curse inside of you? This is a little bit OP, I guess.
One thing I also think is interesting, it seems like Satoru, their mentor, kind of knew that there was going to be some underhanded interactions with the curses, and how the curses may, you know, try to manipulate various people by using people as hostages. Um, but as a team, we already see that they seem like that that unit's going to be pretty tight and pretty able to dispatch various curses.
Yep. I, yeah, that it's definitely looking like that way as well. And getting back on track with uh, Nobaru, so she pretty much utilizes her curse weapons pretty much take out a couple of nails, use her hammer, and just swing away like it's another day at the golf course. and and so far, it seems like she is pretty effective at actually using those nails, as she has a lot of accuracy with where she wants those nails to go for the most part.
That is absolutely accurate. But outside of that, I guess there's still much more for us to see there. We did get a little bit of her backstory. We know that she was from a small um, country town, correct? Trying to escape to get to the city.
Yep. And seems like she was trying to find a friend of hers who moved into her
Sayori.
small town and moved out shortly after due to not a lot of folks unfortunately liking her.
But I'm interested to see how, that I feel like we'll probably see Sayori at some point. It probably won't be pretty good.
Probably not.
I don't know if there's much else to say on this episode besides probably the most exciting part of it was the ending scroll when we hear about the cursed womb and that the three first years are sent to investigate and one of them died.
That, indeed. That should
But
be interesting to see how it plays out.
but for all we know, they could be different first year students that we haven't met, or maybe it was something in the past. I'm sure our people are going to be around a little bit. They aren't going to Aaron Yeager us.
True, true. Although if they do Aaron Yeager us, I think I know better this time around to just give it another episode or two.
Yeah, fair enough.
but but for the most part, that's pretty much all there is to this episode. Kind of as usual, get, pretty much just gives a little bit more of a look onto how some of the first years start to work as a team and some of their personality traits and stuff. So I think from here on out we're going to start to see a little bit more of their advanced skills and how they work together and improve their skills and grow closer together as a team. So I think we'll start to see more of that in the upcoming episodes.
Yeah, and so far I think it has a better beginning than Naruto, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yep. I,
That's like his favorite anime right there.
that shouldn't be too much of a surprise now. But we'll see how it takes off. As a wise person once said, it's not how you start, it's how you end.
If that isn't the truest thing I've heard today.
Yes, indeed. Well, YouTube, thank you for sticking around for another action packed episode of Anime Mondays. Take care, and we will see you next time. And don't forget, until then, keep your life geeky. Take care, y'all.